Have you ever felt a quiet yet undeniable pull in your heart? A feeling that your life is meant for something greater, that the challenges, the victories, even the moments of doubt are not random, but pieces of a grand, divine plan. What if all of it, every step, every tear, every breakthrough, was shaping you for a purpose far beyond what you can see right now? What if you were chosen by God Himself, handpicked to carry out an eternal mission that only you can fulfill? These aren't just questions, they're invitations. Invitations to explore a truth that's been whispered across centuries, a truth that has transformed the lives of countless individuals, the reality of being one of God's chosen ones. You are here for a reason. Your presence isn't by accident, and I don't believe it's a coincidence that you've clicked on this video today. Something has brought you here, perhaps a divine nudge, a quiet calling. Because today, we're not just exploring a topic, we're uncovering something life-changing. We'll dive deep into the eternal covenant between God and His chosen ones, a sacred promise that began long before you and I existed and continues to shape lives today. By the end of this journey, you'll not only understand what it means to be chosen by God, but also how this truth might already be working in your own life, waiting to be embraced. The Bible is filled with stories of ordinary people called to extraordinary purposes by God. Noah was a man chosen to save humanity when the world seemed lost. Abraham promised descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. Moses was called to lead an entire nation out of bondage. And yet, these individuals didn't see themselves as extraordinary. They were filled with doubts, fears, and flaws. But here's the remarkable part. Being chosen isn't about perfection. It's about surrendering to a higher purpose. And that truth is just as alive today as it was in their time. The divine plan didn't end with them. It continues, and it may very well include you. What if you are one of God's chosen ones? What if your journey, your trials, and even the moments you've questioned everything are all part of a sacred design? What if your story is part of an eternal covenant crafted by the Creator Himself? This isn't just a discussion, it's a journey, a calling. Together, we'll explore profound truths, uncover spiritual insights, and connect with the divine purpose that could change how you see your life forever. So, take a deep breath and let your heart be open. This could be the moment you've been waiting for, the moment you realize you are part of something far greater than you ever imagined. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll discover that you were made for more, and that you too may be part of God's eternal plan. Let me ask you something deeply personal. Have you ever wondered why you're here? Why you faced certain challenges, been given certain talents, or experienced moments that felt almost divinely orchestrated? Could it be that your life, with all its ups and downs, is part of a greater, eternal purpose? Take a moment to let that sink in. If you feel even the slightest stirring within you, it's worth paying attention. Perhaps it's time to embrace the possibility that your life is not just a series of random events. Maybe, just maybe, you've been set apart, chosen by God for something extraordinary. If this resonates with you, I invite you to take the first step in acknowledging that calling. Like this video to show you're ready to engage with your purpose. Subscribe to our channel for more content that nurtures your spiritual growth, and comment 777 below as a declaration of your readiness to walk into your destiny. Like this video to show you're ready to engage with your purpose. Subscribe to our channel for more content that nurtures your spiritual growth, and comment 777 below as a declaration of your readiness to walk into your destiny. Like this video to show you're ready to engage with your purpose. Subscribe to our channel for more content that nurtures your spiritual growth, and comment 777 below as a declaration of your readiness to walk into your destiny. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Imagine that. Before you even drew your first breath, God already had a plan for you. He knew your strengths, your struggles, your triumphs, and even your failures. And still, He chose you. Not because of what you've done, but because of who He is. His love, His plan, and His calling on your life are unwavering. Then there's Isaiah 41:10, which assures us, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." This isn't just a comforting verse to read during hard times. It's a divine promise. When God calls someone, He doesn't leave them to navigate the path alone, whether you feel ready or not. God's presence is with you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and shaping you for the purpose He's prepared for you. But what does it mean to be chosen? What does it look like to be part of God's eternal covenant? To answer these questions, we can look at some of the most powerful examples from Scripture, lives that show us what it means to walk in divine purpose. Take Noah, for instance. Noah wasn't a king or a warrior. He was an ordinary man, living in a world consumed by wickedness. Yet God chose him to do something extraordinary, to build an ark and preserve life during the great flood. Can you imagine the faith that is required? Noah faced ridicule, isolation, and an overwhelming task. But he trusted God's plan, and through his obedience, humanity was given a second chance. Noah's story reminds us that being chosen often means stepping out in faith, even when the path ahead isn't clear. Then there's Abraham, a man called to leave everything he knew, his home, his family, his comfort, and trust in a promise so vast it seemed impossible. God told Abraham that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars in the sky, and that through him all nations would be blessed. Abraham didn't see the full picture, yet he trusted God, and his faith became the foundation of an everlasting covenant. His journey shows us that trust and obedience are at the heart of being chosen. And let's not forget Moses, a man who doubted his abilities and questioned his worthiness to lead. Yet, God called him to confront Pharaoh, lead the Israelites out of slavery, and deliver them to the promised land. Moses' story reminds us that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Even when we feel unprepared or inadequate, God's power is made perfect in our weakness. In each of these stories, we see a common thread. Being chosen by God is not about perfection or status. It's about surrender. It's about saying yes to a purpose greater than ourselves and trusting that God will provide what we need for the journey. And while the road may not always be easy, it leads to profound transformation, deeper faith, and ultimate enlightenment. But here's the incredible part. These stories aren't just ancient history. The same God who called Noah, Abraham, and Moses is still calling people today. His eternal covenant didn't end with them. It continues through us. And that means it could include you. So, I ask you again, what if your life, as it is right now, is part of a much greater story? What if every trial, every joy, and every seemingly insignificant moment has prepared you for a divine purpose? So, I ask you again, what if your life, as it is right now, is part of a much greater story? What if every trial, every joy, and every seemingly insignificant moment has prepared you for a divine purpose? What if you are one of God's chosen ones? Take a deep breath and let that possibility settle in your heart. As we continue this journey together, you might just discover that the answer you've been searching for has been within you all along. Stay with us. This could be the moment that changes everything. The Bible reveals a profound truth about our relationship with God. He has established eternal covenants with His people, promises that shape the fabric of His divine plan. These covenants are more than agreements. They are sacred declarations of His love, purpose, and unwavering commitment to guide, protect, and redeem humanity. To fully grasp their significance is to understand the depth of God's heart and the unique journey He calls each of us to undertake. Let's journey together through these eternal promises, exploring what they mean for the chosen ones of God and how they remain relevant in our lives today. From the very beginning of humanity's story, God set His redemptive plan into motion with the Adamic covenant. Found in Genesis 3:15, this promise is made immediately after humanity's fall in the Garden of Eden. God declares that the seed of the woman will crush the serpent's head, a prophecy that points to the ultimate defeat of evil through the coming of Christ. Even in the midst of disobedience and brokenness, God's response is one of redemption. He doesn't abandon His creation. Instead, He provides hope. This covenant becomes the foundation of salvation history, reminding us that no matter how far we stray, God's desire is always to bring us back to Him. It's a promise that speaks to the depth of His love, a love that transcends our failures and calls us toward redemption. Next, we encounter the Noahic covenant, a beacon of hope and restoration. In Genesis 9, after the floodwaters recede, God makes a promise to Noah and all of humanity. Never again will He destroy the earth by flood. The rainbow becomes the sign of this covenant, a vivid and tangible reminder of God's mercy. Imagine being Noah, stepping off the ark into a world washed clean, yet burdened by the knowledge of what had been lost. In that moment, the rainbow in the sky serves as a reassurance, a symbol of God's faithfulness and His desire to restore, not destroy. This covenant shows us that even in the aftermath of judgment, God's plans are rooted in hope and renewal. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how broken the world around us may seem, God's promises endure. Moving forward, we find the Abrahamic covenant, a transformative moment in God's relationship with humanity. In Genesis 17, God calls Abraham out of his homeland, asking him to leave behind everything familiar and trust in a promise that seems almost impossible. God declares that Abraham's descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the sky, and that through him, all nations of the earth will be blessed. Circumcision becomes the sign of this covenant, a physical mark of a people set apart for God's purposes. Abraham's faith in this promise is remarkable, especially considering that he and his wife Sarah were well beyond the age of childbearing.